As editor-in-chief of Package Design magazine, I speak with some of the most brilliant thought leaders in the design, branding, and marketing of consumer packaged goods. Through the generous support of our sponsors, we bring these experiences to you. This video series explores what inspires these thought leaders and their insights on the collaborative design process as a strategic business competence. I'm Linda Casey, and this is Package Design Matters. Do you have any advice or tips for business and design leaders business design and marketing leaders, I should say, on how to incorporate design thinking across departments?
We're sort of trying a new thing that's really working out very well for us, which is to actually have at least one champion for a product that sees the project through, and then also start to integrate the departments throughout, so that the logic that goes into the very beginning, the genesis of the idea, then informs the design of the box, the design of the product itself, the sales strategy, how it's marketed, what the videos are like, and the net result at the very end being a very cohesive and fitting presentation.
We try to go quickly because we're trend surfing, and we're trying to come out with great products quickly that have great price points. And if we spend time to go through, long drawn out design processes or other processes, we tend to be too late. So, and I'm not saying we also jump the process necessarily, but we find a comfortable area for each project as it, as we get into each project, so that the certain project has an appropriate amount of time spent. But I think Ali is definitely talking about something that we've been a little bit break frame on classic development, PDM processes or new product development process, handing from engineering to design to marketing, and trying to hold on and develop the product, the packaging, and do testing, and keeping all that kind of local, so that we can affect the vision or affect the change or improve the product along the process, and build the whole package of product and packaging and sales and marketing together, so that we come out with something that really sings off the shelf and is an integrated look and presentation for the customer.
The consumer world was once static. We then came to understand the role of a brand. In turn, the world has changed. With the foundation of observations, insights, strategy, collaboration, and extraordinary ideas, design serves as the conduit for a brand. Without design, what purposes do these efforts serve?
Definitely, part of bringing this process and making it shorter is rapid prototyping, and I understand that you've actually made some recent investments.
Knowing what the product should deliver is important, and so the 3D printing has enabled us to, in a couple of days, model something on the computer, be able to wire it up or strap it on, or jump on it and give it a test ride, even if it's for a few minutes before it breaks, is invaluable. And even the low-end consumer 3D printers that are available help us to achieve some of that.
We live in a fast-changing digital world. Dynamic communication and social expression influence just about everything we do. Business is digital. Impact is instant. Brands and customers interact in amazing new ways. From postage stamps to packaging and billboards, HP's Graphic Solutions business is leading these transformations, creating innovative digital print technologies that enable more effective, engaging communication between brands and end users.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that Jets is just another example of Razor's emphasis on redesigning classic wins or other products, and also reimagining things. And so like we didn't invent the scooter; we just tried to improve upon it. Or the big wheel, our screen machine was an improvement on it. And I think that's a consistent theme that you see in a lot of Razor's products, is taking these staples of childhood and fun, and starting from scratch and trying to build on those platforms to make them better. And in this case, the difference was that this wasn't necessarily a classic child's toy. This was something, as Ian mentioned, that was relatively new, but being sold in China. And Ian's team, really credit to them, they took this product and worked on it and let it gestate, and kept going back to what can we do to really peak the performance of this thing. And I think something as small as the design on it, and also the addition of the sparks, really has made all the difference, because that's what's really driving the sales on this product and is really exciting about it. A short answer would be that our goal is not necessarily tell the whole story with the box. This, and going back to your how do you tie things in, and this really begins a lot earlier than the kid walks into the store and sees this thing on the shelf. This story begins whether it's on YouTube or on television, and kids are coming into the store looking for this thing. And I think one of the great things that Ian did was really take the box and take an approach to it that lets you see the item, and the box doesn't obstruct what the item is. So kids come in and go, oh, the sparks, the wheels, I know that, I've seen it on TV, or I've seen the video, and again, it goes back to that whole integration of all the efforts to drive the sales.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not what I did, but we brought in a cross-functional team that was, everyone on the team was going to work on this project at some point. And we first of all talked about package structure and what we needed out of structure. We wanted to be very open. We wanted to show the products itself, so you could see what you were buying. And we just had a big cross-functional brainstorm on that. And Lupe came in from marketing with the idea of jewel case and GoPro, and we worked on that, and how could we apply that kind of structure to a $39 item, and how do we get that that feeling of expensive showcase into a toy package.
Something is happening. The familiar barcode is touching everything. Every surface, every sound, every image. Imperceptible to you, yet it's clear to sensors like your smartphone. All things have become their own channels. This is the engine driving the Internet of Things. This is Digimarc.
And it's a really good point that package design is really part of a complete marketing program. We have to really think about the complete brand experience that the consumer has when we think about the actual design. And package design is really evolving at Razer, because we have that target market that's growing up, quite literally growing up as your company has grown.
So we were going through this and coming up with what funny things could we twist these brands into that would apply to Rip Surf and also stay true to the original brands. one that jumped out at us was, it's Sex Wax, Mr. Zog Sex Wax, which is a wax for surfboards.
Another surf product.
Yeah, another surf product.
Core surfing product.
And the idea came about that one of the wear items on this product is the wheel, and it would be great. It'd be great value to include an extra wheel, but then how cool would it be to actually parody the sex wax? And so we created a label that's a parody of that, and then designed it and packaged it so that it would, speak to that. And I think it's funny, as we're doing our promotion and we're going out to surf expos and US Open, as cool as the product is and as much as it resonates with people, I always, I'm excited for them to open the package and get to this piece, because the people that grew up in that culture are so excited. They're like, oh, it's sex. Oh, it's an extra. Oh, you guys are so creative. And,
well,
that's a lot of fun.
And now that we're talking about it, it's really like that surf shop experience in a box. And, as you're unwrapping it and getting to your new surfboard, you're finding the stickers that you would have picked up at the counter and some wax, although it's a wheel. So we're really delivering that experience that we had as kids walking into the surf shop, or the experience that also matters to the everyday surfer that really goes to the beach and really does it. So that's what makes it a really fun item that speaks directly to the customer or kids who want that feeling, want that experience.
And I love how you tie in the retro design with the nods to iconic surf culture, because it really shows an evolution in who you're targeting. And although this can be used by someone as young as 8, this is a product because it does have those retro nods that you could see someone, an older person really getting into and enjoying. We have also just kind of overall branding. We have a different color palette that we have involved here. We have 80s inspired with the pink, yellow, and blue, but a lot of black here, not a lot of red.
Yeah, so I think this represents a little bit of a departure for Razor. We've
and innovation for our company.
Yeah,
I mean, as small as a color change is, it's innovative for us.
Yeah, and I think it also further reinforces and bespeaks that shift of I think in the past we've always marketed our brand and relied a lot on the Razor brand, and in this case the product itself, we wanted to differentiate it from the predecessors, the Ripstick and the Ripster, and we wanted to do that in all aspects, whether it was the actual shape of the board or the way that we space the wheels, or also different types of aspects. But also then we started to want to really, in the same way that we delve into this product and wanted to give its own identity as far as the look of the product and the presentation, we also want to do the same thing with the packaging. And I think you can see the poly cover that's inspired from the Jets project. And I mean, if you work here, you see this as informed by a lot of previous projects.
And it wasn't just a color change for the package just to be break frame or just to be different. We made the change because the product is different. And it's, like Ali was talking about before, it's not just a surfboard shaped Ripstick. It's a new product that deserves its own identity. And we wanted to make sure that we were setting that apart from Ripstick, because the product doesn't ride like a Ripstick. It rides like a surfboard, or the closest thing that, and surfers will tell you, that's probably the closest thing I've ever ridden on land to riding a wave. So we were talking about that change being authentic.
Yeah, I think that's something that we really strive for in this project and in a lot of our projects, but with the Rip Surf in particular, we were striving for that authenticity, which led us to all those little cues and nods that you see in the package, in the extras, in the product. But even down to like the tagline on the box, surf where you live. And I think to an outsider, it seems like oh yeah, they surf where you live because the product lets you emulate surfing where you live, and that's their value proposition. But to those who surf and those who know, that's actually
it's an insider term.
It's an insider term.
Or an insider.
And it bespeaks something termed localism, where locals at a break would want you to go surf where you live. And it's almost
Don't come here.
Yeah, don't come here. It's a form of discrimination or like division. And we wanted to kind of turn that on its head, because what we're really doing here is inclusion, right? We're trying to bring surfing to all the landlocked masses. And so we thought, it'd be kind of tongue-in-cheek and a nod to both people. Like the people who don't surf would be like, oh yeah, surf where you live, that makes sense. But the people who do surf would be like, oh, I see what these guys did. They took something that's used to exclude people and have now made it, flipped it on its head and used it as a motto that actually underscores inclusion. The way that we arrange the colors bespeaks a classic surf film, The Endless Summer. And so if you ever look at a Endless Summer poster or anything, it is the CMYK,
grade 8
colors,
bright colors,
and the colors there representing the setting, the sky during the setting sun, the sun, and the ocean. And so, what the product does, the stomp pad is meant to be an allusion to both of those things, and then you see those colors pop right out of the product onto the box, and which is the reason why we have the predominantly black and then the 3 color, key colors.
Definitely. And seeing that a lot of your packages happen to be transparent to allow the product to become part of the design that is on shelf, how does your product design inform your package design?
So the PET sleeves that we've recently done are new for us, and that's part of our innovative packaging over the past year. And it started with the Jets package. And, I think we felt very comfortable about achieving it in the Jets package. It's a small package, about this big. It's really not so much different than toy technology packaging, but for us, that's new, because we had a product that wasn't that heavy that could survive a package in a PET sleeve like that. So when we did the Jets, that was sort of innovative for us. We took that idea and we thought, man, it would really be great to do rib surf that way, and not just so that we'd have a PET sleeve, but that we could create, here I'll slide the package over again, we could create this layering effect where you'd have the logo way out front, the products in the middle, the background colors behind it, setting it off, giving it a lot of depth, and
I feel like it's a great frame. The package is designed to frame one of the largest value propositions of the product, which is the look. It's a small surfboard. And I think with Jets and with the Rib Surf, we have this opportunity that we don't really have with all of our other products, which is they come fully assembled. A lot of our products are either folded down or require some assembly, and so to display them in a clear box wouldn't really make a lot of sense. But here we have these products that display so well, and that the look of is such an important aspect to. Again,
and so it brings the value up, yeah. But the part about transferring that package structure to Rib Surf is, we were nervous. It's a larger product, heavier product, and to wrap it in this PET sleeve. Long story short, we've had amazing success with the PET sleeve at mass. Shelfware has not been an issue. We prepared for that at the beginning. We were going to launch, we'll launch the PET sleeve at the specialty shops. They'll treat it right. Mass is going to throw it on the shelf, and it's going to get knocked around a bit more, but we've had great experience with it. Our factories have done a great job packing it out, taking care to get it right, so that they were packed in masters to ship well and go through environmental testing well.
With products like Rib Surf, we're seeing the evolution of your product line, and I mean even Jets. There's a lot of new products that are coming out, new innovations. When you think about product line expansion, there's always a question of how do we brand this? Do we brand it under the parent company, a parent brand, or do we brand it under the sub-brand? How is your thinking beginning to evolve on the Razor brand versus the sub-brands?
I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
Because I know this is a great question.
Yeah.
Because it's a long-running dialogue here at Razor.
Well, and I think you hit the nail on the head with the word evolve, because we're in the middle of an evolution. We started off with this, the Razor brand, and it became such a strong brand and so associated with scooters that it's been a double-edged sword. On the one hand, we have this very recognizable, well-known brand, but on the other hand, we constantly run into people that are like, "Oh, Razor, you guys make something other than scooters?" And so it's been a challenge, and also we've run into the fact that we've experimented and dipped our toe into trying with other brand names in the past, and when those don't do so well, there's this reaction of let's get back to the Razor brand name, and so we're in an evolving, in an evolution, and I think that with really strong products, with really strong and divergent products, that's where you get these opportunities to try to actually establish new brands. And I think we had a product, the Crazy Cart, that we worked on that actually caught public attention, and we saw all these articles being written that said, oh, the company that created the scooters, now they're creating these go-karts, and we were able to build a lot of brand equity in that Crazy Cart name. And so with a product like the Ripsurf or a product like the Jets, we are trying to build off that knowledge and continue to experiment and develop and move along that evolutionary path to becoming a company with multiple brands, each with their own brand identity and brand equity and meaning behind the brand.
Definitely, and being able to do the product development, but also marry that branding, and because your product line is expanding, your target market is growing, getting older as well as keeping along with a younger group. How has that changed the way you approach consumer research and testing? Because you're no longer just testing products with kids.
Sure. Yeah. I think that we've always been heavy on actual feedback from consumers. I think that modern technology and a lot of the things that we're now experimenting with have enabled us to kind of communicate more directly with our consumers, be it one-on-one in the testing that we do in person or with our kids or with ourselves here, but also getting feedback from online, the videos that we put online. We get to see right away what are consumers saying about this. We now have Amazon, we now have TRU, feedback pages, and we go on there and monitor, how many stars are we getting? Why are people saying negative things? And that's really shortening the amount of time that it takes for us to address and revise. And so
instant feedback.
Yeah, we're getting close to instant feedback and just trying to be really responsive about it.
And then I think it goes further, where we do a lot of customer product testing, and then we do market analysis, a lot of analyzing. Like Ali said, we're looking at online reviews and that kind of stuff. So market research comes in different forms, and there's a lot of different aspects to it, and we have people within the company looking at research or doing research through social media channels, doing research through advertising. I mean, we actually had a competitor the other day. We found a competitor advertising on top of one of our YouTube videos.
I did this interview, saw some of the interactions that you've had with some of the online reviews, and that you're very active with that community and making sure that you're getting that kind of feedback. But overall, within Razor, who owns that consumer research and part of the process? Is it design and development? Is it marketing? Who owns that process?
Yeah. So, and there's pre-launch, there's post-launch. Certainly during the development, it falls on design and development department. Ali is very involved in development, research, and R&D. And we use all kinds of channels to do that kind of research, and then post-launch, obviously marketing department is heavily involved in, and we're looking at how our advertising do and that kind of stuff, analyzing from that angle. So
And also to
research
to
comes
the
in a lot
president
of
of the
forms.
company, and
Absolutely.
constantly-
Carlton does his own research.
constantly-
We give him the prototypes and stuff, and he takes them home, or he takes them to the office in Pasadena. And
Well, believe me, if we have a product that starts to get negative feedback, we're hearing about it from the head of sales, we're hearing about it from the head of the company, from ourselves, from each other.
Absolutely. Carlton emailed me. It was Tuesday. What's going on with the Amazon reviews on a certain thing, and I had to look into it, and it absolutely made a difference. That all the way up to the owner of the company is watching.
Yeah, definitely looking at those online reviews and also listening to what people are saying. I understand that your customer service department, which is near the front of your office, near the entrance, is positioned in such a way that they're actually close to some of the other departments, so that there's some interaction about, customers who might complain about something. You want to not only have someone answer the call, but actually make that actionable with your products.
And we're sitting very close together to begin with. I mean,
Yeah,
it's not that far. It's a hover tracks ride away down the hallway.
And actually, to just correct what you said, but it's actually very accurate. They don't sit next to the front. They actually sit right in the center. So when you go into the main room,
Okay.
customer service is in the center and is surrounded on 4 sides. You've got marketing right there. You've got accounting. You've got sales. You've got everybody all around them. And also, to Ian's point, we're actually a pretty small and tight-knit community.
They'll walk the issue right into design development, ask us a question, or they'll get Bob to pull apart. Customer's gonna even stop by and needs to pick something up. We make ourselves that available.
It goes both ways also. Our customer service department is really good about being responsive when you have a need. And one of the fronts that I'm on is on Facebook for certain products. And I remember right before Christmas, I think it was like the 23rd of December this last year, on our Facebook, I got a frantic, angry customer. It's like, it says that your customer service is not in, and it's too late, and this and that. And I actually picked up the phone and called Debbie in our customer service department on her cell phone and said, "Hey, I got this customer. I don't know if there's anything you can do for them, but they're saying Christmas is right around the corner, and they need help." And this is 2 days before Christmas. She gets the product out to the part that the person needed out to them, and she basically flipped a really angry customer into a brand advocate. And I think, again, it's not just one front or one direction. It goes in all ways, and it could be online, it could be in a review, it can be on a phone call, it could even just be something that we're driving into work and, hey, I saw this kid and his scooter was rattling in this way. Well, Ian will start working on a stabilization system or whatever we can do. So we're trying to get feedback in all ways, and in the same way that we don't wall off our customer service, we don't wall off any of our departments.
Could you share an example of a product that benefited from the feedback, something that got better through iteration?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think there's lots of different products that we could talk about, but one that's close, that I'm very close with and that I'm passionate about, and I think is a great example of that, is the Crazy Cart. Crazy Cart was an item that came up here in 2004. It was actually internal and really a true innovation that came out of Razor's R&D department. And but when it first came out, there was a lot of issues and reasons why we probably thought we couldn't do it. And it took 9 years for it to actually come to market. But that 9 years, that path from idea to actual implementation was really guided by feedback. And it was really paying attention to the no's and the why nots. Those were the trail markers on the path to success. And whether it was we have an issue that this thing is 3 wheels and it might tip over, guiding us to coming out with stabilizing posts, or if it was the fact that, hey, this thing is too complicated and too expensive, leading us to redesign the back end of it. The entire process was guided and informed by customer feedback, by internal feedback, and again, just we utilize all the no's as signposts to find the path to success.
And I think there's constant improvement in our products. As we go forward, we're working right now to improve just the classic Razor scooter. It's always had a little bit of play in the folding mechanism, and since it's such the foldability and the compactness of it leaves a little bit of tolerance in some of the connections, and it rattles, and I don't think kids care that much, but we can improve that. Actually, we'll be launching a new larger wheel scooter line next year in spring that will have an improved folding mechanism and T-bar system. So we're excited about that.
And that sounds like another product, again, kind of like your Rip Surf, which larger wheel, a little bit more, stabilization, perhaps for a older target market?
Yeah, for sure. Last summer, we saw a lot of articles being written about adult market, scooting the last mile in commuting, and a trend towards larger wheel scooters, which we're definitely acting on and building to. And as we've built that program with adults in mind or older riders in mind, we found that that's true, but on top of that, there's a trend for young riders to come to those big wheel scooters as well. So we've built out a couple different versions with different features so that we have something for everyone in the large wheel scooter offering for the spring.
But yeah, definitely, building on that, I think bigger and more adult targeted products is a theme of our recent development.
Well, yeah, and going beyond scooters,
yeah,
for sure.
And I think a lot of it was driven by the response we saw when back to the Crazy Cart. We saw all these adults wanting it, and we came out with this Crazy Cart XL. There was so much excitement around it that we then started going, hey, there's this whole untouched market, by our company of adult kids, full size, recreators. And so then you start seeing products like the Drift Trike and the Drift Trike DXT and the new quad that's coming out that are actually built bigger so that parents can get out there and play side by side with their kids. And I as a new parent myself, I look forward to those days, which is not so much watching my kids play, but playing with my kids.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting because I was primarily looking at the expansion of the market for Razor as the evolution of maybe the Razor customer just getting older, and then that particular customer, that particular person wanting to continue the Razor experience. But it was interesting that you bring up this concept of modern parenting. That modern parenting now, as kind of a trend, isn't about watching your kids play, but actually getting there and playing with them.
Absolutely.
I think, myself, again, growing up in the boom years of action sports, yeah, I want to be able to be ride right along with my kid, and show them how much fun that stuff can be, and not, and have something that enables me to do that.
To be sure. I think also, as we get back to the people of Razor, we have very diverse, a group of employees here, but, there's a huge group of us that actually on the weekends go out and play, and like to. And so, with Ian being 6'5", I see our products getting bigger.
Yeah, right.
and I see whether it's Brian Wood, we designed the Crazy Cart XL around a guy who's like 6'3", 240 pounds, and who actually gets out.
You just quoted Brian's weight on camera.
220 pounds. All muscle. No, but and the great part about that was bringing Brian in, talking about being a little bit out of your Brian it works with China and with ordering, and but his passion is racing cars. And so when it came to the Crazy Cart, he was a natural person to go to, and he actually was instrumental in the success of the product. He's the authentic guy that we turn to for styling cues, for where to take our marketing materials and drop them off in an authentic place. And really, it helped form the genesis of what we did with the Rip Surf, which is to resonate with the existing early adopters and the core audience first. And I think, again, we rely a lot on our people at Razor, and it's reflected in the product.
Like this older age stuff or bigger rider stuff, where we wanted to build a downhill drift trike, and we went out and tested the downhill drift trikes. We went to where guys do downhill skateboard, and those kind of sports, to test it in the environment that it was meant to be developed for. And that's really fun and part of the job at the same time. So, whether it's doing that and testing the product before development, or have it come off production and then us going out and filming it to make ride videos or YouTube videos.
Byproduct of working at a toy company.
It's,
You're gonna have to bear through some
when
fun.
when you come home at night and people ask you, what did you do today at work, and you're like, we were making drift trike videos. They're like, yeah.
Maybe people aren't really aware, but most of your products, if not all, are designed right here in Southern California.
Yeah, I would just say I do think clearly the overwhelming majority of stuff originates here in-house in Southern California, but we are always open to ideas from outside inventors. Our China team as well comes up with stuff, and it's really, no thing is done completely as a silo. It's really very collaborative.
One of the innovations at Razor is the design, I believe, is having design and development. It's relatively a new department, and I think it's innovative to be able to plop a new department in the middle of a bunch of other departments that were already doing business. It's a little bit disruptive, and but I think I'm a team player where I can be a little bit disruptive, but I can also get along with the rest of the departments, and we can make things go forward. And so I think the design and development department here at Razor over the past 3 cycles has been a big innovation. We've really impacted the look and feel of the products here at Razor in a real positive way, and I know sales is extremely behind it. The sales team, we work very closely with sales. I think that is one thing that leads to innovation, is keeping the design and development ear to the ground and knowing what's going on in the business of the company. So I just wanted to add that, because I think just as the department in itself is an innovation, and we help to bring people together and teams together, and that is part of how I run the department and look towards, that's what my vision is for the department as the department sits in the company. And then as far as the people that work in the department that are probably listening to me talking or right over there, it's a very small department. Everybody is obviously handpicked to be great at what they do and inspired, and it obviously shows in the work. Everybody's got their personal interests that go beyond, and the way we keep people interested in, I want to make sure that our work environment is interesting and delivers something to be interested for each one of those people, product designers or our art director, and make sure that they can fulfill their own life outside of work if they want to come in early and work early and leave a little early so they can. Marco plays soccer. Suman is, going to doing a show, or has an art exhibit. I just want to make sure people have the life that they want to have outside, but yet be inspired while they're here.
Rather than you becoming part of the company you work for, the company that we work for is really a reflection of the people that are here. It's really a sum of all these diverse parts, and I think that's one of the greatest strengths about Razer.
The ability to try new things. As big as the Razer brand is, mass market brand, we still retain the ability to try some new things, and I have to commend Robert and Carlton to allow us some of that leeway to go ahead and build it. And it's okay if it's not the greatest selling product, but we try it, and I think we learn a lot from those experiences.
To be sure. Robert and Carlton are the founders of the company, and this is privately owned company that was founded on an entrepreneurial spirit, and it still permeates today. But again, that even that experimentation that is such a strong point, it rests and on the shoulders of our sales department, our marketing department, these staples that have been around and driving and developing the Razer brand as you know it. This company that puts out consistently great products.
What one accomplishment outside of work are you the most proud of?
Starting with me, I would say for sure it's got to be my family. I just had a son. I got a beautiful wife. I feel like I'm very proud of myself because they're both awesome. And I think just like balancing the ambition and the goals that I have personally with this desire to have a well-balanced family and work life, striking that right balance. And as I look at my wife, I go, I did a good job. She's amazing, and definitely my better half, probably my better 2/3.
So now I'm screwed if I don't say family. Family. No. Proud's a hard. That's something that's sort of hard to answer. But when I, you say outside of work, but again, brings me back to my childhood and growing up in Ohio and racing BMX and skateboarding and backyard snowboarding and doing all that and growing up during the birth of some of those sports. I'm proud to be here at this moment, and I feel extremely fortunate to kind of live out what I thought about doing as a kid, or my fantasies as a kid are kind of living themselves out here in Southern California, working at Razer, working alongside of people like Bob Hadley and Billy Griggs and Ollie and great surfers and great artists and musicians, and being able to take part in doing things that I've always wanted to do, like surfing and climbing. And I get to do those things along with having a great family and having a great daughter and a wife who supports all that, and that's a very special thing to be able to achieve. And so I'm proud of that, and I'm proud of saying I work at Razer, even though you asked me about working, something to be proud of outside. But it's just it's very intertwined, professional and private relationship.
Well, and you've gone into the next part of that question, which is, what one career accomplishment are you the most proud of?
For me, I put 10 years behind trying to bring a project I was really passionate about, the Crazy Cart, to market, and being able to see that come full circle and come back to Razer and launch with Razer successfully has been extremely fulfilling.
And then for me, I've again been fortunate to have so many opportunities. I think, one thing I would say is having the ability to work in the toy industry and having all the opportunities to be a toy inventor and to work at really interesting companies like Discovery Channel, and Leapfrog Toys and Razor ultimately. And if I picked one thing here, it's really hard. Absolutely passionate about Rip Surf. I mean, because that's surfing 5 days a week before work and then coming in and designing surfboards is like, that's pretty fun. So absolutely passionate about that, but it's easy to find something to be passionate about in every project here.